Hi, so this video is going to be on how to use the Force, sort of like a Jedi. It takes a long time to quote-unquote master it. Like, it takes as long, once you figure out what the Force is, like once you've like really had a deep experience with the Force, that is like being born into the Force, right? And so that's like a baby, once a baby is born into the world, and they can like start feeling objects, you have to like how long does it take for that baby to really start moving objects around proficiently? Like, how long does it take once you encounter the nature of objects to like start moving objects around and like picking them up, throwing them, building stuff out of them, right? It can take a whole lifetime to become proficient. You could become very good at throwing, you could become very good at like tinkering or constructing objects. But all of that comes from like, first you're born and then you feel objects, like you feel the nature of your body and you feel the nature of matter, and then you can grab it with your hand or whatever else, right? So the Force is the same way. The Force right now, just your infantile use of the Force is, okay, put your attention on your right hand, now move your attention to your left hand, now move your attention to your right foot, now move your attention to what's in the upper left corner of your vision. Now move your attention to how your tongue feels, right? So each time you're doing that, that is the Force. It's the direction of attention, right? And your body helps you direct and channel the Force and amplifies it. Your body amplifies your use of the Force, but you can, if you notice, if you pay attention to your direct use of the Force, like, oh, I'm just going to move my attention from here to here. That's why so many meditative or spiritual practices are centered around just controlling the attention. That direction of the attention is the infantile use of the Force. And if you focus on that every single day with the same obsession that a baby focuses on objects, eventually the Force will start to feel more palpable and more seen. And you can see how the Force interconnects with your life force, with your mind, with your emotions, how all of that stuff is in the Force, right? And you'll see how you interact with the Force. And so eventually you can start to feel how you can like tread water in the Force. You can give your weight over to it. A lot of different things come up that you can use the mind with, but like ultimately it's control over the attention. So if you don't have control over the attention, and if you don't have control over the emotions and stuff like that, that's the most basic thing. The smallest things to control, the lightest objects to pick up with the Force are thoughts, feelings, right? Once you're able to move around your thoughts and your feelings, then you can start to work on moving around heavier, denser objects, like denser perceptions. But it just takes a lot of time. A lot of people never get, a lot of feelings and emotions and thoughts are somewhat addictive, right? So if you get addicted to certain thought patterns or certain emotional patterns, then you can never learn how to use the Force, because you're basically just using the Force to get high, to feel something. And so it's not studied the right way. You never experience it as an object. It's always like a phenomenon of mind. But once you get it and you start to feel that there's currents and how to generate currents and stuff like that, and like the deeper you feel it, the deeper the currents you can generate, and at a certain point you can start to put a substantial amount of your body weight into the Force, into the buoyancy of it, or you can feel or direct or find like very strong currents that alter other people's minds, right? That's the other thing with the Force, is you can use it to break somebody's will way sooner than you could like just push their body away from you. Right? So you see people playing with this in martial art tricks, like at low levels, and it's just the force, right? It's the same thing as in the force. It's the same category. It's the ether, it's consciousness, it's the body water. It's the same thing. Like, so that, like, the force is just like a real category. It's the ether. And the reason that it's not like usable is the same reason that water isn't usable to somebody who can't swim. Mostly you just drown in it or you drink it. But once you learn how to swim, you can do interesting stuff in water. You could even surf, right? Or it's like when a baby is first born, it's like the baby's like, yes, the physical world is here, but without a lot of practice, you can't really manipulate it or use it very much. It just kind of pins you down, right? Like the physical world is just this overbearing restriction to a baby at first when they first feel it. Like you're weightless in the womb and in control of everything, and then you get into the real world and everything's like too heavy to move, and everything's just kind of difficult. But then if you just stay with that difficulty for a while, eventually you're like picking up balls and moving objects and walking and all that stuff. But you have to learn, like you do have to learn all, like how to walk and throw balls and stuff at a young age. So like if you just find out about if you just find out about the potential of your attention in your 20s or 30s or 40s or whatever, it's going to be the same thing as like a baby that didn't know they had hands until they were like 20. Like you're going to be retarded your whole life. But you could let your kids know. But even then it's hard, because like if people know about the force and then everyone's retarded, it's hard. It's easier just to be a retard, to fit in. That's what I do. So yeah, you could all the like there's you can learn how to do anything. You can heal anything. You can know anything. You can use the force to know anything firsthand. You don't even need an AI. It's fractal. Everything is in there. You can kind of gaze into it. You can gaze into your attention and see the whole universe. But it tells you the truth, and so then that aggravates people, so you can't really say anything. Or people think you're like a know-it-all or you're an asshole. So you have to just pretend it doesn't exist. But it's really easy. It's as easy as like, put your attention on your left hand, put your attention on your right hand. The pressure or the activity that moved that attention back and forth is the same pressure that you use at an extreme level to do crazier stuff. It's the exact same pressure. It's the exact same mental influence. It's the exact same medium. It's the exact same thing. So the pressure that you use to direct your attention, it's the same thing as the hand. Like, yes, like maybe you'll get more nuance. So imagine a baby discovering their hand at first. It's kind of like clumsy. Maybe you're only pushing, you're running into stuff. You're like maybe not grabbing with like very much fidelity. Like all that might be happening, but like as an infant in the force or in attention, you can be like, yes, I am touching it. This is it. I am here. I am arrived. This is what I'm looking for. It's not mysterious. I just have to practice moving this every single day, just like a baby does. And if you don't start at the right age, then you have to just accept that you're going to be retarded. But pretty much every this whole thing where only Jedi are sensitive to the Force, like that's everyone is sensitive to the Force. Otherwise, how would you move your attention around? Although maybe there's something on the inside to generate big currents or do crazy stuff. Maybe you need like a slight little je ne sais quoi. Just like a surfboard needs fins, right? You can't surf on a plank or a paddle is shaped the right way. Not every stick is a paddle, right? Maybe that's true. Maybe not everybody is quote unquote force sensitive, but everyone is in the Force just as much as anybody else. But some people are probably shaped like a paddle. But I mean, everything exists in the Force, so everything is shaped. Maybe not anymore. Most everything's retarded. Everything's just retarded.